Harihi Om Tatsat. Harihi Om Tatsat. Jaya Guru. Shuddho Buddho Vimuktaha Sudhishikaragiram Mukhyatatparya Bhumihi Yasmajjadam Samastam Jagadidam Amrtad Vyapya Sarvam Sthidoya Yasyam Sham Shavataraihi Suranaravanajairakshidam Sarvametad Tam Bhumanam Mukundam Hridigadamamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhumanam Mukundam Hridigadamamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guruhu Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhakaha Harihi 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 Om Tatsat. Jai Guru. We shall have 3 times our joint Omkara recitation session. Make sure that your mind encompasses the global surface as a whole. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and the heart alike and join me. We have been chanting this sloka for several weeks now. Shall we change the sloka? We shall go to, I think, sloka number 70 of the 2nd chapter. Is it not 70? Apuryamana Machala Pradishta? Sloka number 70. Where Krishna says that the mind of the seeker will have to grow to the oceanal or sea dimension. Now it is like perhaps a well, a small well, with maybe about 6 to 8 feet diameter. From that it has to grow to a tank dimension. From there to a lake dimension. Thereafter it has to expand to the sea dimension. Imagine the vastness and the depth of the sea. A number of waves, breakers, ebb and tide, bore, etc. do take place on the surface. But the sea as a whole is not the least affected. The waveful sea still remains the sea. Nothing happens to it. Similarly, we must be able to assimilate all kinds of input from the world during our interactions and remain stable, poised, deep and vast. Apuryamanamachala pratishtham
Apuryamanamachala pratishtham
Samudramapah pravishanti yadvad
Samudramapah pravishanti yadvat
Tadvat kama Yam pravishanti sarve
Yam pravishanti sarve
Sashanti mapnoti
Sashanti mapnoti
Nakamakami
Nakamakami
Sashanti mapnoti
Sashanti mapnoti
Nakamakami
Nakamakami.
This is an asset for you. All of you should learn. You should teach your children also. It is an insurance. With no premium, you get a huge return. Apuryamanam
Apuryamanam
Achala pratishtham
Achala pratishtham
Apuryamanam achala pratishtham
Apuryamanam achala pratishtham
Samudramapaha
Samudramapaha
Pravishanti yadvad
Pravishanti yadvat
Samudramapaha
Samudramapaha
Pravishanti yadvad
Pravishanti yadvat
Tadvat kamayam
Tadvat kamayam
Pravishanti sarve
Pravishanti sarve
Tadvat kama
Tadvat kama
Yam pravishanti sarve
Yam pravishanti sarve Sashanti
Sashanti mapnoti
Sashanti mapnoti
Nakamakami
Nakamakami
Sashanti mapnoti
Sashanti mapnoti
Nakamakami
Nakamakami.
We are passing through a very, very significant transition in the battlefield dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, which transpired more than 5,000 years ago. Though it was a dialogue that transpired such a long time back, so far as Indians and our culture, our ethics, our habits, even tendencies, pursuits, etc., you will find this dialogue is the warp and woof of our life. We speak of Gita as if it happened yesterday or the day before. We speak of Gita as a dialogue beckoning us from all directions. We think of Gita as a beautiful art and science to deal with our emotional mind and rational intelligence. Bhagavad Gita discusses the structure of the mind, the nature of the mind, the character of the mind, the behavior of the mind. It also speaks about and elaborates upon the interactions the mind does and the impacts it produces. It speaks equally about the potential of the intelligence that we have. How these potentials in any way affect or sublimate the mind. I have said many times that mind is something invisible. You cannot access it, observe it or see it with any of your senses. It is in fact the mind that employs the senses. If the mind were not there to employ the senses, they will become absolutely lifeless, actionless, useless. The entire body and the senses are made of matter, and matter is inert. Therefore, the body and senses are also inert. The body left to itself will not be able to lift the finger. Nothing will happen to the body. It is animated and activated by the mind and the intelligence together. So the key to everything in our life is inner. It is linked to our emotional mind and rational intelligence. Unless you become conscious of this fact, you will not be able to steer your life properly. Be very sure about it. I would like to tell the entire world, psychologists and psychiatrists, to read Bhagavad Gita and understand what Bhagavad Gita, Krishna and Vedavyasa and Mahabharata have to say about the dimensions, the measure and magnitude of the mind and the intelligence. Mind you, objective science will not be able to speak anything about the mind or intelligence, because both of them are not objects. Not at all. Neither the microscope nor the telescope will be able to picture the mind or the intelligence. They are imperceptible to the senses and all objective instrumentations. If they are imperceptible to the senses, the question arises, to what will it be perceptible? To the mind itself, to the intelligence itself. The intelligence and mind can act as a mirror, as well as the one who looks at the reflection in the mirror. What all capacities the mind has, to which extent we can enrich it qualitatively. What are the dimensions that are possible? We speak of good, a good man, a moral man, an ethical man, a social man, a benevolent person, a kind-hearted person, a person who has got magnanimity. All these things we say. Are they not qualities of the mind, or are they qualities of the body? We speak of commitment, integrity, dedication, perseverance, exclusiveness, reliance, dependability, accountability. All these are words referring to the qualities of the mind. Our body completes its growth at the age of 21. That is the time the body has completed its growth, and from the next moment onwards it begins to decline. When we become an adult, we start developing our own wishes, choices, intentions, goals, values, etc. At that point of time, if the body has completed its growth, tell me, for the few decades of your life, how many decades? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. At least 70 to 75 years, 80 years you can live. Minimum. For all these decades, if the body has completed its growth, tell me, what in your personality is going to grow and get enriched, become more and more viable, useful, effective, resourceful, and achievement-oriented? The answer is very simple. It can only be the emotional mind and the rational intelligence. Bhagavad Gita is a discussion only on the mind and intelligence. Arjuna fell a prey to inordinate grief. He said, I am burning. My senses are scorched by the grief in my mind. Can you cool it, Krishna? So what was the problem before Arjuna? Mind problem, mind grief. And Krishna activated the intelligence of Arjuna through his own intelligence. And he made Arjuna examine the grief, understand the grief. When the whole process started, in a matter of moments, the tearful Arjuna stopped crying. He started inquiring, and very pertinent questions he asked Krishna. So the dialogue got extended. My dear souls, all the problems are made by the mind, and the solution is just above the mind in the intelligence. I want to tell the entire world this Bhagavad Gita. It is a dialogue between the enlightened intelligence and the deluded mind of every human. You may say Krishna spoke to Arjuna. If I can personify intelligence, equally the mind, it is the intelligence personified that spoke to mind, deluded mind personified. That is why it remains an eternal and ever relevant gospel for every time, for everyone, everywhere in the world. Krishna is presenting fundamental propositions. You have to think well, be prepared to understand. Throw away all your delusions, superstitions. So many beliefs. What? What for? We are living in an experiential world. A world we directly see with our senses. Our experience is the criterion for everything. Knowledge itself is experience transformed mystically within our body. See what Krishna says. In the whole world, there is only one nishtha. It has got two facets. For some people, if we can call them advanced people, it is jnana, wisdom, pursued by the intelligence exclusively. For the others, it is action pursued with a spiritual and yogic attitude. For one, it is contemplational. For the other, it is interactional, activity oriented. This is the way it is, that's all. What activity you do, it does not matter. You may do a religious activity, a secular activity, a domestic activity, a societal activity, maybe as an important part of administration, be engaged in a colossal war like Mahabharata. It's all activity. Activity performed by your hands, your legs, the other organs of the body. It's all activity, activity and activity alone. It may be secular or religious, it does not matter. The acting individual is the human. Whether you are in your house or in the professional front or in the societal sector, it is the same individual that acts and the same body and limbs that act. So don't differentiate actions unnecessarily. Take activity as a single factor, and Krishna is providing a solution. How do you have to conduct this activity in order to make it a yogic pursuit? It's a wonderful discussion, my dear souls. And Krishna's statements are categorical. Unequivocally he speaks. There is no scope for delusion. There is no scope for misunderstanding. That is why Arjuna cleverly said, it appears that you are talking confusingly, and it appears that I remain confused. He doesn't say, I am. So he's very careful. Na karmanam anarambhad naishkarmyam purushosnude na cha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchadi. What a wonderful statement. I sometimes wonder, will my audience, will my viewers be with me when I explain this? My dear souls, I am speaking about your mind. Your mind and its plight and fate. How to access it, enrich it, improve it, reform it, refine it, elevate it, enlighten it, and take it to its own destined magnificence, profundity. Can you have a superlative mind if you ask me? Yes. How much of engineering skill we have? We have made nuclear plants. We are flying people on the air. We are traveling on the sea. What is it that you are not doing? Are all these the merit of the body or the merit of the skull, the grey matter? If you employ it properly, what is it that you cannot achieve in this world? Have we achieved what is desirable to be achieved? Only very recently we have started speaking about a sustainable civilization. I was very happy when I heard this word recently. Our civilization by itself is not anything. By our civilization, we should not endanger, damage or deplete either the earth or the other natural elements. You may say you need electrical power. I also agree. But make power in such a manner that the earth, water and air are not adversely hit. You have no right to pollute them. You have no right to raise global temperature. Understand that you are intelligent. Let us exert our intelligence, employ our intelligence in such a manner that the harmful aspects of our discovery will be eliminated and we will always remain benevolent, harmless. Why not we have electricity for which nothing from the earth will have to be depleted? Have you thought about it? Our mind has no limit in its thinking. Sky is the limit. Suddenly we have found or invented something, everything. It's not everything. The acid test, whether it is harmful to the people, harmful to the basic elements called earth, water, air, fire and sky, space. If it is harmful, we cannot accept it. Struggle more. The pandemic, COVID-19 came. Did we not exert ourselves and find some vaccination measures? Where there is a will, there is a way. I think we are setting limits to our intelligence and we are satisfied with short-term discoveries and inventions. No, we are not satisfied. I think we should set new standards for our intelligence. Mind you, we are humans. We alone have a skull which is the most excellent expression and production of creation. Na karmanam anarambhad Naishkarmyam purushoshnude nacha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhi gacchadi. Recite it now. Na karmanam anarambhad
न कर्मणामनारम्भात्
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति.
Relate the discussion to Bhagavad Gita. Who is speaking here? Krishna. To whom? Arjuna. Who is Arjuna? The real fighter, the master of the chariot. What is he now doing? He is sitting, leaving his weapons. And 4.5 million warriors are holding their breath. When will this illustrious fighter get up with his Gandiva and the arrow box, the cure? When will he get up? We want to discharge arrows. Can you imagine the breathless nature of their control and cessation? And that Krishna is talking to Arjuna. Why? Arjuna felt he was unable to fight the war and he should not, ethically and morally. Now Krishna had the Herculean task of driving home to Arjuna that as you have come to the battlefield, you should stand up, fight, complete it and then go. This is just like any other activity. Suppose you are hungry and you have given meal. Half the meal is served, not all at once. So you start eating. Can you get up after taking one or two morsels? Is it possible? You marry somebody. After a week you say, no, I cannot carry on. You go away. What is this? 13 years of preparation had taken place. He has come to the battlefield after that. And altogether in a matter of moments he says, I will not fight, I cannot fight, I go back. This is the situation. You should understand. So Krishna did not restrict it only to war. Certainly it was a war dialogue. But by virtue of being a war dialogue, it did not stop with war. It related to the entire human life, activity and interaction as a whole. Every front, every level, every kind, every dimension it has. Now, he is presenting two absolute propositions. Na karmanam anarambhad Naishkarmyam purushoshnute. Karmanam anarambhad. By not taking up any activity whatsoever, one will not be able to reach the state of Naishkarmya, actionlessness, which is the highest spiritual goal. What is spiritual goal? I don't want anything from the external world. I don't depend upon anything or anyone. I will breathe. I will live. I will contemplate upon the supreme truth. In order that the body has to live, I will resort to begging. I will go to a house. I will extend my hand and then say, what? Om Namo Narayanaya. That is how ascetics make their announcement. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Bah! What a wonderful statement. What are they saying? Om. Prostration to Lord Narayana. If somebody arrives in your house saying, prostration to Narayana, oh, you know the whole house, all the inmates get alerted. What? God himself has come. He has descended. They understand a sadhu has come. Immediately, the housewife takes the best of the food cooked and make an offer to him. You may have cooked for 4 or 5 people. You take a small share. How much will you take? Not 1/5, not 1/10, maybe 1/20 or so. And then offer it to him. If he feels satisfied, he will not go anywhere. Suppose his hunger is not appeased, his stomach is a little big, he will simply go to another house. Om Namo Narayanaya. They will also give. Maximum he is allowed to go by tradition only to 3 houses, not more. All that I have to do is to preserve this body, which requires food and nourishment. I am not going to cook. I am not functioning. I am not acting with a view to earn money. I only contemplate. I recite the Upanishads. I contemplate upon their message. I read Bhagavad Gita. Try to understand it. Understanding Bhagavad Gita is not simple. It may require years and decades. I have begun that pursuit. That pursuit is fully involving me. I am not going to take up any secular activity whatsoever because I am not interested in any gain. I want nothing objective. I want only enlightenment. I want to have the effulgence, splendor and brilliance of what I say as I am. I, the beautiful soul, the self. When you start practicing and pursuing this wonderful jnana nishtha, as I mentioned earlier, there comes a time when you feel no activity is necessary. Even the sadhana becomes redundant. Are you following me? Sadhana becomes redundant. I have nothing to gain, nor to lose. This body was born not because of my behest. I am breathing not because of my merit or need. I am made to breathe because a pair of lungs are there. They go on bellowing. And a biological system called the body is there. It needs oxygen. I have not made the body. Nor the need of the oxygen depends upon my will, wish or preparation. Everything I find is a product of nature, a course of nature, a cyclic pattern of nature. I am also one such. So I leave it to nature. Like the heart is beating, lungs are bellowing, alimentary canal is functioning, the body also will live. Maximum, I will seek bhiksha from kind and noble-hearted people without disturbing the society at all, and I will continue. Only maybe a few morsels of food I need every day, nothing more. If nobody is able to offer it and nobody does offer, then I am prepared. I am prepared for the outcome. Without any grumble, I will allow the body to remain or to become breathless. This is the kind of resolution that people have. My dear souls, in our country, even today, there are some boys who go and join the ashrams at a very early age, 6 or 7 years. Na karmanam anarambhad Naishkarmyam purushosnude. The state of Naishkarmya, actionlessness, which is the pinnacle of spiritual pursuit, it cannot be reached, Arjuna, by not undertaking any activity. I am not going to undertake any activity at all. Maybe the person is educated in Vedas and Shastras for a while. That's all. The exposure he had makes him feel Jnana Nishtha is the right Nishtha. Jnana Nishtha is done by the intelligence and the mind. So I will not do any physical or secular activity. And he reaches a state of Naishkarmya, about which Krishna speaks in the 18th chapter. That Naishkarmya Siddhi, supposed to be the pinnacle of Jnana-nishtha, one will not be able to achieve by refusing to take any activity whatsoever. It's a very great statement. The next proposition he makes is Nacha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. One is not taking up any activity, not taking it up at all. Here what Arjuna was proposing was, the activity which he was doing had come to do, he wanted to renounce it, involvement in it. So renunciation can only be of something that you have, and not undertaking is something that you relate to an activity which you had a plan to take up. Understand the subtle difference between the two. One is anarambha, not beginning to act, not undertaking anything. Another is abandoning what you have undertaken. Krishna himself went as an ambassador of Yudhishthira to Hastinapura, and he wanted to bring about a truce with Duryodhana. He did not agree. He finally asked for 5 villages for the 5 Pandava brothers. He said, I will not give. Duryodhana said, I will not give. A needle point of space, he said. Now what was left? Tell me. If they want their kingdom back, let them fight and take. This was the message of Duryodhana. Krishna instantly announced, okay, let us discuss about the war date. The date of war, the season of war was discussed and finalized, and Krishna came back. All this has taken place already. And now suddenly, Arjuna, you say, I will not fight. It is not in conformity with the course of nature. It is only a delusion that is working in you. A fear, a grief, a delusion. Delusion is a product of the mind. Grief also is a creation of the mind. Doubt also. If these are dispelled, you will certainly fight naturally, irresistibly, harmoniously and fulfillingly. Nacha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. Sannyasa refers to whatever involvement you have. Leave and go. Leave and go. I was already having my professional life. I was equally studying, trying to understand and read the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, etc. The study and absorption of the literature and the practical meditational absorptional sadhana I was practicing. Both of them were complementing each other. It was a meteoric growth that took place. And when I knew that, a man who knows this cannot remain in the world with worldly involvements. This is a treasure, an inner treasure, the key to which is the mind and the intelligence. This has nothing to do with the object world, either the earth or water or air or fire or sky. It has nothing to do with the vegetables and plants. All these are objects. They come under objectude. This is something within your body, accessible to the mind and the intelligence. It is spiritual in character. Once you know this, how can you remain in the world pursuing secular propositions? No, it cannot be. Let me stop. Go. This is called renunciation. Yadahareva virajet, tadahareva pravrajet. Whenever you really feel the call of dispassion, that very moment leave and go. Man can do many things. This can also be done. This kind of a call also is motivated by God and providence. The entire earth is revolving and circumambulating, not at the behest of you and me, at the behest of providence alone. Just like the force of gravity, the law of motion, this call also is an inner law, an inner force. Don't think that there are only material and physical laws in the world. There are psychological laws, intellectual laws, spiritual laws also. Yadahareva virajet, tadahareva pravrajet. The moment you have attuned yourself to dispassion, and the call of dispassion is great, tap, go, go, go. Never remain. What? Is it not for the human mind to respond? You can only respond to what? Attraction to a girl or a boy? Or attraction to resources in a foreign country? Employment, seeking employment? You can hear the call from America alone, from Europe alone. Can there not be a call from Providence? Can you not be asked to pursue the inner treasure, which is imperishable and which excels and transcends everything in this world? Is there only a married life? Only a domestic life? Only a business life, a professional life? Is there not a life of nature, natural life? How do animals live? Plants live? How does the python live? It doesn't seek the prey at all. It cannot crawl and catch hold of the prey. Be wise, be humble. Enlarge your inner horizon. Don't be myopic in your perception. Certainly not. There is a call. We have ample examples of this nature. I think Vedavyasa himself might have been an exclusive renunciate right from the beginning. We have no description of Vedavyasa's life at all. He was born. As soon as he was born, he was abandoned by the parents. He only appears before us as a great ascetic, incomparable in every way. Who picked him up? Who breastfed the child? In which Pathashala or class he learned? We have no information about all this. But he is the one who has penned Mahabharata. The entire Vedas were edited and presented and distributed, divided into a few disciples for them to learn and perfect and pursue it. His son Shukamuni was an exclusive ascetic, given only to Jnananishta. According to Mahabharata, Vedavyasa performed penance for several years and he churned a son out of a stick of fire. Whatever it may be, he had a child, not from a wife. It is for the science thinkers to probe into such possibility. Can there be a birth? Let me ask you, the monocellular life itself was evolved from where? Tell me. In the whole creation we find only matter. And in some of the planets, how many we don't know, Earth is a planet that is completely matter. The water on the surface is also matter. The air surrounding them is also matter. But it is from that material source that monocellular life got evolved. What does it mean? What does it mean, you tell me? So when we say, he churned a stick of fire and had a child, it calls for deliberate thought and introspection. I am not going into that. Vedavyasa had 4 children. And one child was Dharmaputra. The second was Arthaputra. The third was Kamaputra. And the fourth, Mokshaputra. Who was Dharmaputra? Vidura. Arthaputra? Dhritarashtra. Though he was blind, Dhritarashtra. What does it mean? He was holding fast to the kingdom, though he was not able to see it. And Pandu, he was given to passion. Only because of passion, he finally died also. But Shugamuni was a Mokshaputra. He was born only as a Mukta and only to speak about moksha. He had no truck with anybody, anything, even with his father. So, leaving the father, he started running because he had no attachment, no bondage, nothing. Bhagavata says, when some of the apsaras, ethereal women, were taking bath in a lake or a river, when Vedavyasa was passing through, they immediately took their dress and wore it. But when Shuga Maharshi, Vedavyasa's son, passed that way, they did not do so. They did not think of covering themselves. Vedavyasa asked them, why were they doing so? They clearly said, mind you, this is the nature of India. This is the type of mind that a great Indian, a good Indian, a simple Indian has. Understand it. They told the Maharshi, what did they say? You have still the man-woman difference in your mind, but your son does not have it. So we did not have to wear the dress. Here is the Sanskrit verse. Hear it. Drishtvanuyandam rishivatmajamapyanagram devyo hriya paridadhurna sutasya chitram tadvikshya pritchati munau jagadustavasti stri pumbhida natu sutasya viveka drishte. Actually, what is the difference between a man and a woman? You tell me. One is a male body, another is a female body. Both bodies are equally biological. The content is blood, marrow, bone, flesh, etc. All of them are there. What is the difference? When you think seriously about it, you cannot stop with the senses. You should reflect upon. The whole world is writing about man-woman difference. But the higher science is that there is no difference. Maybe some physiognomical features are different and there is a specific complementariness between the two. But basically all are the same. Suppose a man is given to the sameness of perception, why should he be afflicted, agitated or otherwise? So to Vedavyasa they said, you still have man-woman difference, but your son does not have. When the son ran away, Vedavyasa had a lot of affection for him. The other sons were living in Hastinapura, Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura. And Vedavyasa could go there, talk to them also, and he was doing. But Shukamuni was not like that. He ran away. Yam pravrajandam apeda krityam dvaipayano virahakadara ajuhava putredi tanmayataya taravo bhinedu tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. My imagination flies. It rises. Srimad Bhagavata was written by Vedavyasa. I always feel that in the first 3 verses, the second and the third were not written by him. Similarly, this also is not written by him, or he has written it with a beautiful imagination. What is the message in this verse? Yam pravrajandam anupedam apeda krityam. A child born in the proper family, lineage, etc., the father and the mother will be waiting for the child to grow to something like 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And instantly he is given a sacred thread, Upanayana. And then he will be initiated into Gayatri. Very soon will be sent to an Acharya and his classes, and he will learn. After finishing his learning, he will come back or he will go away as an ascetic. This used to be the practice. So, this boy Shukamuni did not want to wait for Upanayana at all. The sacred thread is a very great addition to our life. It is that thread that when you take up sannyasa is broken and put into the fire. So we adopt it, we also discard it. Can you imagine the significance and the contrast of both? So, yam pravrajandam. That boy had so much of dispassion, overpowering dispassion, that nothing could hold him to the family, to the religious routines, to the investiture of the sacred thread, to the chanting of Gayatri, Sandhya, Upasana, etc. No, he was not. Pravrajantam. Everything was steeped in his dispassion, drowned in his dispassion. Anupedam apeda krityam. Without any sacred thread ceremony. Casting aside all duties supposed to be done by the Dvijas. Dvaipayano virahakatara ajuhava. When the son was running without turning back, Vyasadeva was calling him, my dear son, stop, come back. Putredi. He was calling him, dear son, putra, like this. Tanmayataya taravo bhineduhu. Our country is great, my dear souls. You are all living like the silkworm in a cocoon, not knowing anything inside the body. The entire treasure and gold is within the body, not outside. Outside it is all perishable, perishable, perishable. Our body itself is perishable. All the objects are perishable. The parents are perishable. The married ones are perishable. The children are perishable. Your house, perishable, perishable. Car, perishable. Fixed deposits, equally. Land, more so. So with a perishable body, if you acquire perishable objects, the perishability will only multiply. So will real wisdom allow you to be in the company of the perishable? Will allow you to pursue the perishable gains? Yam pravrajantamanupedamapeda krityam dvaipayano virahakatara. But Vedavyasa, being the father, he had so much of virahakatara, pang of separation from the child. So he started running behind him, calling Putra, Putra. But boy was not replying. You know what happened? The trees which were standing en route, they started responding to the father. You know why? The author says, Taravobhineduhu tanmayataya. Shukamuni had so much of identity, tanmayatva with everything in this world, that tanmayatva was echoing from the trees saying that, yes, here we are. Tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. That ascetic, young ascetic, sarvabhutam hridayam, he had a heart which was reflecting all the creatures and beings in the world. Sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. Let me at least prostrate before him. Prostrate before him. Or maybe Vedavyasa himself felt, if his son was going with so much of dispassion, maybe for a short moment he felt the touch of the pang he felt, but he understood, my son is very great, very great. Let me prostrate before him. I am not going to call him. I return. Allow him to do what he wants to. And what did Shukamuni do? Shukamuni was the first person who recited Srimad Bhagavatam to the great Parikshit Maharaja, who was on a fast unto death vrata for 6.5 days. Why did I say this? That is sannyasa. He simply left. Nachiketas, the son of Vajasravas, as Kathopanishad tells us, that boy could have been belonging to this category. He was observing the father performing the whole yaga, and when the father was vitiating it by selecting materials from the cowshed, useless cows, etc., he felt immensely touched. So he asked the father, whom will you give me to? The father got angry and said, I am going to send you to the god of death. Go. He left. He left. Nothing restrained him. He left the father, he left the mother, he left his palace, everything he left. He is also one such. I said, Shankara was such a person. Shankara had his little schooling when he was young. He was exposed to the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita perhaps, and other scriptures, from which he understood there was something called Brahma Jnana. Brahma Jnana, the last word in our Vedic and Upanishadic literature. Knowledge of the supreme reality. Knowledge of the supreme reality. The ultimate existence. The primordial presence. Brahmajnana. He was so enamored of the word. He asked his father, "My dear father, who will tell me, teach me and impart me Brahmajnana?" My dear son, this is a great demand and a quest. People read the Vedas, they understand, but they take to the rituals we discussed in the Vedas. They never go into Brahmajnana, that knowledge being the supreme reality. What do you understand? India was the only country who has said that the supreme and the ultimate is knowledge. The man who looks through a telescope or a microscope, is the microscope seeing or the one who looks through it seeing? Where is the seer, you tell me? Is it in the object looked at, in the eyes? Or the seeing is an inner process? The seer is within the body. When the seer begins to see, it becomes the seeing process. Seeing process. Where is that? If the seer is inside the body, his seeing process is also inside the body, and the outcome of seeing is also an inner outcome. What are you saying? The supreme reality or the ultimate in your search, it is not outside. It is not the senses. It is not in the sensory objects. It is in the perceiver inside. In the perception that takes place inside. So Shankara was very much impressed by Brahmavid apnodi param. The one who knows Brahman attains the supreme, the ultimate. So he asked the father, "My dear father, tell me, how will I be able to attain Brahmajnana?" Father said, "My dear son, very, very rare. Who can competently, with competence, tell you about the whole thing? As far as I know, there is only one person. That is Sage Govindapada, living on the bank of Narmada in Gujarat, very far away. I don't think I will be able to take you there. But he will be able to say, this is what I have heard, I have known." Very strangely, the father died very soon. But this message was the only guidance, only anchor which the young Shankara had. The father died. His quest was intensified. It became deeper, stronger, wholesome. So he started asking the mother, "I want to take up sannyasa and go in search of my goal." How can the mother spare him? She was already a widow. There was no other child for him. Shankara was the only one. So she was not able to say yes. But Shankara was not able to dismiss his quest, postpone it also. The struggle continued. Some very strange developments took place, as a result of which the mother consented to his sannyasa. And he took sannyasa and left, giving a promise that whenever you want to see me in your last days or so, I shall be there. And it became true. that Shankara was a renunciate. Nacha sannyasa deva. Our Bharata Muni, Jada Bharata Muni was one. Right from the beginning, he was not interested in any kind of secular activity, earning income or anything like that. But he would still do any work for anybody. If some reward is given, he will say, I don't want. So many people started making use of him and making him do hard work. Years back in 1980s, the people in Uttar Pradesh, the leaders, said, there is a Tala Kholo movement which was organized. Rama Janma Bhoomi, the birthplace of Rama, the temple was locked and the worship was going on outside for decades. Finally, a movement was launched. The lock should be open. Tala Kholo. Tala means lock, Kholo means open. So the sannyasins there felt a little apparently jittery. What step the government would take, they may arrest and all that. So something like that was there. So we were asked to go. That was a time that we had the famous Nilakal agitation. That agitation could not be furthered because there was no leadership. So the leaders, particularly one prominent leader said, Swamiji, 2 months have passed. We have not been able to do anything. Our chief minister says, Nilakal chapter is closed. Is it so? Then we shall give you the leadership, I said. I discussed the matter with my brother Swamiji, Purushottama Swamiji, a very strong person. His mental strength is immeasurable, was immeasurable. So we decided to give the leadership. The society should not perish or become weak or enslaved, succumb to undue pressure due to lack of leadership. Our country is great. At least some in this country still understand the greatness and the invincible nature of its spiritual culture, spiritual anchor. I prepared a bulletin explaining the circumstances in which I was going for the movement and circulated it all around the ashram. Then we went. The government declared a prohibitory order. I said, we will break the prohibitory order. What are we going for? We are going to perform austerity in Nilakal Hills. What for? So that the chief minister's mind and thinking will be corrected and reformed. The only means we have is our tapasya. So we will go and simply sit there in austerity, in silence. Prohibitory order was clamped. We went. The government unnecessarily forced a lathi charge. There was no necessity for it. Hundreds of people were with us. We were peaceful people. Our force is not external, physical. We never meant to violate anything at all. There was no necessity for a prohibitory order. What the government should have done is to facilitate our austerity. It is austerity, mind you, not harming anybody. We will simply use our body, mind, intelligence and ego and perform the tapasya. Parvati did penance for getting Paramashiva. Sri Krishna performed austerities for about 12 years before the first child Pradyumna was born to him. Austerity is our privilege, our birthright. We are not asking the government to give us anything, not even a morsel of food. We only say we do austerity. Similarly, we underwent an indefinite fast for 5 days. On the 5th day, government did what we wanted to do, at least marked the beginning, then we withdrew. What? If the elected government does not behave properly, don't think that majority means everything. There is something called Bhuripaksha, majority, and Nyunapaksha, minority. Maybe the whole majority may take a wrong decision. Then there is something called what? Dharmapaksha, Nyayapaksha. Bhuripaksha, Nyunapaksha and Nyayapaksha. Even in our democratic setup, where lies the truth, you tell me? Is it with the parliament? Is it with the executive? Or finally it is with the judiciary? A man has to be hanged. Who will say his life should be taken? The Prime Minister, the Chief Minister, or the President or Governor? Nobody has the right. Only the judiciary has the right to say his life should be taken. He should not be allowed to live. He should be hanged till he becomes dead. It will be confirmed by the High Court. You can go to the Supreme Court even. What do you think? The judge is not a minority or a majority. There are so many decisions pronounced by a single judge. If the judges differ, then alone the question of majority comes. So when finally many things happened and the goal was achieved, in the background, the people of UP thought that we should call the sannyasins from Kerala to lead the movement. So we went there, 4 of us. Right from Ayodhya, Begum Hasrat Ali Park in Uttar Pradesh, where 6.5 lakhs of people had assembled, where we all spoke from a 32 feet platform, 32 feet high platform. There was a boy in front. Still I remember it fresh, very fresh. A 7 or 8-year-old boy, an yellow flag tied to a small samit, that stick, keeping it on his shoulder. He was walking in front. A 7 or 8-year-old boy. I inquired. I was told he was a brahmacharin in an ashram. So many boys were there like this, not with us. So many young boys go to ashramas right from the beginning. Why are they going there? Only to learn, only to contemplate. So when Shankara went, you may feel it's a surprise. Not in India. Not in India. Even now there are such people who go. The point I have been emphasizing is, there is only one nishtha. It is jnana for Sankhyas, and it is karma for the kamis. That jnana nishtha, he says, not by refusing to take any undertaking, you will not reach the climax or fulfillment of jnana nishtha, not even by sannyasa. Sannyasa may be the first step. Understand the difference between the two. You can leave only what you have. So the present involvement you leave. In the other, you refuse to take up any involvement. By both, the supreme spiritual goal cannot be achieved at all. So the question necessarily arises, what is the right method to achieve the supreme spiritual goal? That is the discussion Sri Krishna continues to make in the 3rd chapter. But the discussion is revolving around activity, which is indispensable. If it is indispensable, there is no question of getting away from it. So all your pursuit and achievement should be coupled with your activity. And how can you do so? The methodology, the key, the secret, the message, throughout the 3rd chapter you will find it. Let us hear it bit by bit. Today I stop. Hari, Hari. Samvedyavarjitamanuttamamegamadyam Sambitpadam vikalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarihita kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri. Hari, Hari, Hari Om Tats. We shall have the conclusional Omkara. Take your pose for it. Okay. Hari Om Tats. Jai Guru.